Have you ever laid awake at night, wondering about the greatest mystery of all time? Who created God? This question has haunted humanity for millennia, and today I'm going to share something so profound, it will change everything you thought you knew about creation. My dear friends, what I'm about to reveal has been hidden by religious institutions for centuries. The truth is so powerful that when I first discovered it in ancient manuscripts, I couldn't sleep for days. The Bible's first pages contain a secret that most people, even devoted believers, have never noticed. Let me ask you something. If you discovered that everything you've been taught about creation was only half the truth, would you want to know more? Because right there, in the book of Genesis, there are two completely different creation stories. Yes, you heard that right. Two different accounts that seemingly contradict each other. The first story presents God creating the universe in 6 days, methodically speaking everything into existence. But the second story, it tells a completely different tale. One where God forms Adam from the dust of the earth and Eve from Adam's rib. Why would the Holy Scripture contain two different versions? What were they trying to tell us? But here's where it gets even more intriguing. These biblical accounts weren't even the first creation stories in human history. Deep in the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, archaeologists have uncovered texts that are far older. The Enuma Elish, Egyptian creation myths, Greek cosmology, they all tell tales of creation. But why do they share so many similarities with the Bible's account? The answer will shake the foundations of everything you believe. Modern science has discovered something that perfectly aligns with these ancient texts, something that was written in the Bible thousands of years ago. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Scientists only recently confirmed that the universe had a beginning, the Big Bang. How could the Bible know this scientific truth thousands of years before modern telescopes and technology? My friends, this is just the tip of the iceberg. What I'm about to share next has been kept secret by religious authorities for centuries. When Thomas Aquinas discovered this truth in the 13th century, the Church tried to silence him. Why? Because this knowledge doesn't just reveal who God is, it reveals who we are. Imagine for a moment that everything you know about creation, about God, about your very existence, is just a small part of a much bigger truth. A truth so powerful that it has the potential to transform your understanding of not just religion, but of reality itself. In the ancient texts, hidden beneath layers of translation and interpretation, lies a message so profound that it connects science, religion, and the very purpose of human existence. This isn't just another theory. This is the key to understanding why we're here and what our true purpose is. The Vatican has kept certain documents locked away for centuries. Why? What are they hiding? The answer lies in a discovery so remarkable that it will forever change how you see God, creation, and your place in the universe. As we delve deeper into this mystery, you'll understand why this knowledge has been suppressed for so long. You'll discover why different religions all point to the same truth, and why modern science is finally catching up to what ancient spiritual texts have been telling us all along. My dear friends, what I'm about to reveal next will challenge everything you think you know about God and creation. It's a truth that's been hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to connect the dots. Are you ready to discover what the Church has been keeping from us for over 2,000 years? Stay with me, because what comes next will not only answer the question of who created God, it will reveal your true connection to the divine, a connection that has been deliberately hidden from you until now. The truth is more amazing than anything you could have imagined. But before I reveal this earth-shattering truth, let me share something that religious scholars have been debating for centuries. In the ancient texts, there's a fascinating pattern that emerges when you look closely at how God is described. The Hebrew word used for God in Genesis 1 is Elohim, a plural word. Yes, you read that correctly. The very first chapter of the Bible uses a plural form to describe God. Why would the ancient writers use a plural word? This isn't a simple translation error. It appears over 2,500 times in the Old Testament. The Church has tried to explain this away for centuries, but what if there's a deeper truth they don't want us to see? Think about this. When God creates humans, he says, "Let us make man in our image." Who is God talking to? The traditional explanation is that he's speaking to angels, but angels don't have the power to create. They're messengers, not creators. So who are these others that God is addressing? The answer lies in ancient Sumerian tablets dating back over 6,000 years. These tablets tell a story so controversial that museums keep them hidden in their basements. They describe beings who came from the heavens and created humans. Sound familiar? But here's the shocking part. These tablets were written thousands of years before the Bible. When I first discovered these connections, I was stunned. The similarities between these ancient accounts are too precise to be coincidental, but it gets even more fascinating. Modern DNA research has revealed something extraordinary about human creation, something that aligns perfectly with these ancient texts. Scientists have discovered what they call the Adam and Eve DNA markers, genetic patterns that suggest all humans descended from a single pair of parents. But here's what they don't tell you. These markers show signs of sophisticated engineering. Our DNA contains sequences that appear to be artificially inserted, like a signature left by our creators. The Church knows about this. In fact, in 1960, Pope John XXIII sealed certain documents in the Vatican archives, marking them not to be opened until 2050. What could be so explosive that it needs to be hidden for nearly a century? The answer lies in those documents, and it connects directly to what we're discussing. Remember that mysterious symbol found in ancient religious texts worldwide? The one that appears in Egyptian hieroglyphs, Sumerian tablets, and even early Christian manuscripts. Scientists recently discovered that this symbol represents a mathematical equation, one that describes the very structure of our DNA. How did ancient civilizations know this? But here's where it gets personal. This isn't just about ancient history or religious texts. This is about you, your existence, your purpose, your connection to the divine. The truth I'm about to reveal will explain why you've always felt there was something more to life. Why you've had those inexplicable feelings of déjà vu, and why you sometimes feel a deep connection to something greater than yourself. The evidence has been mounting for years. The Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Library, the Vatican's secret archives, they all contain pieces of this puzzle. When you put these pieces together, a picture emerges that's far more extraordinary than anything we've been taught. What I'm about to share next will explain why certain powerful institutions have worked so hard to keep this information hidden. It will reveal the true nature of human consciousness, our relationship with the divine, and the real reason why we were created. Are you ready to learn the truth that the Church has been hiding? The truth that explains not just who created God, but why you were created. Stay with me, because what comes next will change everything you thought you knew about your existence. The truth I'm about to reveal was discovered in ancient manuscripts that predate the Bible itself. These texts were found in a hidden chamber beneath Jerusalem's Temple Mount, but they were quickly sealed away. Why? Because they contain information so powerful that it challenges everything we've been taught about God's nature. In these manuscripts, there's a description of what the ancient writers called the divine paradox. This paradox explains why asking, "Who created God?" is like asking what's north of the North Pole. The answer lies in understanding something that modern physics has only recently confirmed: the nature of eternity itself. Quantum physicists have discovered that time isn't what we think it is. At the quantum level, time doesn't flow in a straight line. In fact, the latest research suggests that time might not exist at all outside our human perception. This revolutionary discovery perfectly aligns with what these ancient texts described thousands of years ago. The manuscripts speak of God existing in what they called the eternal now, a state of being where past, present, and future exist simultaneously. This isn't just religious poetry. It's exactly what Einstein's theory of relativity suggests about the nature of time and space. How could ancient writers have known this? But here's where it gets personal for you. These texts describe humans as being created with a unique ability, the capacity to perceive and understand eternity. This isn't just about living forever. It's about accessing a level of consciousness that transcends time itself. Have you ever had a moment where time seemed to stand still? Where you felt connected to something vastly greater than yourself? That's your eternal nature trying to break through. The Vatican knows about this. In fact, they've been conducting secret research for decades, studying people who've had near-death experiences. What they've found confirms exactly what these ancient texts described. Human consciousness exists outside of time. We're not just physical beings having a spiritual experience. We're eternal beings having a human experience. This understanding changes everything about how we view creation. God wasn't created because God exists in eternal consciousness, the same consciousness that you're connected to right now. This is why prayer works, why meditation can heal, and why you sometimes know things without knowing how you know them. The ancient texts describe this connection using a symbol that's been found in every major civilization, from Egypt to India, from the Americas to ancient Europe. This symbol wasn't just decorative. It was a mathematical formula describing the relationship between eternal consciousness and human awareness. Modern scientists are just now beginning to understand its significance. But there's something even more extraordinary. These manuscripts contain instructions for accessing this higher consciousness, techniques that were taught in ancient mystery schools, but were later banned by religious authorities. Why? Because when people access this knowledge directly, they no longer needed intermediaries between them and the divine. Think about it. Why do you feel such a deep connection when you pray? Why do coincidences seem meaningful? Why do you sometimes feel guided by an unseen hand? It's because you're already connected to this eternal consciousness. You always have been. The only difference between you and the divine is that you've forgotten who you really are. The truth about God's nature isn't just some abstract theological concept. It's written in your very DNA. Scientists have discovered what they call junk DNA, portions of our genetic code that seem to have no purpose. But recent research has shown that this DNA contains patterns that couldn't have occurred naturally. It's as if someone left a signature in our genetic code. A signature that points to our divine origin. What I'm about to share with you now is the most profound truth of all, one that explains not just who we are, but why we're here. Remember how I mentioned that scientists discovered patterns in our DNA that couldn't have occurred naturally? Well, there's more to this story that will leave you speechless. Recent studies at prestigious universities have found something extraordinary in human consciousness. When people pray or meditate deeply, their brainwaves match exactly with the mathematical patterns found in those ancient symbols we discussed earlier. It's as if we're literally tuning into the frequency of creation itself. My dear friends, this is why you sometimes feel that deep, unexplainable connection during prayer. This is why mothers know when their children are in danger, even from miles away. This is why you get those gut feelings that turn out to be right. You're not just connected to the divine, you're part of it. The ancient manuscripts speak of a time when humans walked and talked directly with God, when we fully understood our divine nature. This wasn't just a spiritual metaphor. It was a description of humanity's original state of consciousness. We weren't meant to be separated from our Creator. We were meant to be conscious co-creators. Think about your own life for a moment. Haven't you felt deep down that there's more to existence than what we see? Haven't you experienced moments of profound connection that you couldn't explain? These aren't coincidences. They're glimpses of your true nature breaking through. The truth is, asking who created God is like a wave asking who created the ocean. The wave is the ocean, temporarily taking a different form. Just as each wave is a unique expression of the ocean, each of us is a unique expression of divine consciousness. This isn't just philosophy. It's the cutting edge of quantum physics. But here's why this matters for you. Right now, understanding this truth doesn't just answer life's biggest questions. It transforms how you live. When you realize that you're connected to eternal consciousness, that you're part of the divine nature, everything changes. Your prayers become more powerful. Your intuition becomes sharper. Your very presence begins to affect the world around you. This is what Jesus meant when he said the kingdom of heaven is within you. This is what ancient mystics were pointing to when they spoke of enlightenment. This is what modern science is rediscovering through quantum physics. Consciousness creates reality. My friends, we're living in a remarkable time. The ancient wisdom is being confirmed by modern science. The secrets that were hidden for millennia are coming to light. And you're here, right now, reading these words, because something inside you knows this is true. I've spent years studying these texts, connecting the dots, and what I've discovered has transformed countless lives. People who understand this truth report miraculous healings, profound spiritual experiences, and a deep sense of purpose they never had before. This isn't just information, it's an invitation. An invitation to remember who you really are, an invitation to reclaim your divine heritage, an invitation to step into the life you were meant to live. If this message resonates with you, if you feel that stirring in your soul, then you're ready to take the next step in your spiritual journey, ready to unlock the divine potential within you, ready to understand not just who created God, but who you really are. Join our community of seekers and believers. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's explore these profound truths together, supporting each other as we awaken to our divine nature. Remember, you're not just watching a video. You're participating in the greatest awakening in human history. The truth about God, about creation, about your divine nature, it's all connected. And now that you know, what will you do with this knowledge?